Russell Wilson, who's playing pretty well, was injured to start the year, so Justin Fields started some games, and the Steelers were winning with Fields. Mike Tomlin decided to switch to Wilson. The results say it was a really good decision. What have you seen from Russell Wilson?
Yeah, I think that was it's kind of crazy to me that Mike Tomlin has never won the NFL Coach of the Year award, considering, it's a regular season award. If you have a quibble with Mike Tomlin's success, it's playoffs. Say he's one of the best regular season coaches ever, really, and certainly in the time he's been in the league. To me, that was like a Coach of the Year winning type decision. You're sitting there at 4-2, and you say, no, we want this other guy instead, and then you rattle off four straight with Russell Wilson after making the change. The passing offense looks so much better. To me, I think Russell Wilson's willingness to just let it loose and throw the ball is what they needed, especially when you have a combat catch guy like George Pickens. He doesn't look open. You just throw it to him anyway. It's always been that from the second week of his rookie year. He made that incredible catch down the sideline in Cleveland, and he's just always been doing that. And I think someone that has the experience to know when it's safe to make a risky play, to just let it loose. I think that's what the Steelers needed. That's what Russell Wilson has provided. And I just think he does all the little things so well, gets guys lined up right, makes sure the offensive line is protecting in the right direction. They've cut down on their pre-snap penalties. I think that those little things are really paying off in a big way for the Steelers as well with Russell Wilson out there. But it's been it's there were a lot of Steelers fans that were not okay with that decision. It's been pretty fun to watch people come around on deciding to go with Russell Wilson.
Yeah, you bring up George Pickens, and George Pickens' production seemed to take off exactly when Russell Wilson became the quarterback.
Yeah, he's now up to fourth in the league in receiving yards. He's always had that talent. I think it's been about having someone that can consistently get him the ball, even when he's the focal point of the defense. Baltimore double covered him almost the entire game. Still comes away with 8 catches for 89 yards. There were games in the past where you would see like with Kenny Pickett last year, where if he was double covered, he would just never look that direction. Like there was no attempt to try to fit the ball into a star playmaker despite a lot of coverage. And I think Russell Wilson's experience gives him the edge and kind of knowing when it's okay to take that risk, how to find ways to get the ball to George, even when there's a lot of attention on him. And I think Arthur Smith deserves some credit too. The rest of the Steelers wide receivers aren't scaring anyone, and he's still finding ways to scheme George Pickens open. But it's definitely taken another level with Russell Wilson throwing the ball.
Also seems like Najee Harris has kind of had a little bit of a rebirth under Arthur Smith, at least from afar. What have you seen from Harris in this Arthur Smith offense?
I'm not sure how much it's Arthur Smith and how much is the offensive line has been run blocking so much better. Najee Harris has always been a guy where he's big, he's physical, he runs to contact, he runs through contact. If you can, he's like a train. Like you got to get him going those first couple yards, and then he's really hard to stop. You see the highlights of him running against linebackers and defensive backs and the stiff arm and hurdling and running through contact and all that's great, but if there's a guy in his face 1 yard in the backfield, he doesn't do very well. And I think they spent a lot of draft capital in their offensive line over the last 2 years. They've got two rookies and a second-year guy playing from center to right tackle, and Zach Frazier, Mason McCormick, Broderick Jones. And those guys have their warts in pass protection, but they are a tough bunch when it comes to run blocking. They really just took it to the Ravens, physically finishing guys on the ground after the play. And I think that's exactly what Najee Harris has needed that he hasn't had in his time in Pittsburgh so far to really make him a consistent high producer at the running back position.